Penguins, Islanders, 24 hours and some change away. Guy Junker, Ken Laird, TripLive.com. Previewing the series, Guy, looking at the 1 versus the 8 seed here in the NHL playoffs. Obviously, the Islanders are a long shot. Obviously, also the long-term history between these two. The Penguins are 0 for 3 in series with this team, but it's a much different feel than 75, 82, or even 93 for that matter.
Well, I don't think the past history is such ancient history. I mean, the most recent's 20 years ago. I don't think it factors in at all. I think fans, especially older fans that lived through all 3 of those series, like myself, you may think about it, may bother you. I don't think it has anything to do with what the players are thinking about. But just to start, everybody's like planning on a Stanley Cup final party at their house in late June. Who was favored to win the Stanley Cup last spring? Penguins. Who won the Stanley Cup? An 8 seed. Happened to be from the other conference, so it was the LA Kings. So I'm not saying the Islanders are winning the Cup. I'm not saying the Penguins aren't winning the Cup. But I think so much of the buzz that I hear from everybody is that, you know, it's an automatic that they're going to at least get to the finals and play the Blackhawks. I'd be shocked if they lost to the Islanders in the first round. But could we start, you know, we get mad when athletes say, let's take it one game at a time. Could we at least take it a series at a time? Everybody's already fast-forwarded on 4th of July, and we're going to be having, you know, pool parties with our fake inflatable Stanley Cups. And
the Penguins are, of course, not saying that. They're going 4 wins, 1 series at a time.
Right.
The Islanders, though, Philly last year had some playoff experience. This team, they've got Nabokov, who's been in. Their forwards guy, only 4 of their top 14 have ever played in a playoff game, and 50 games total of playoff experience. The blue line, they've got like 35 games combined of NHL playoff experience between 4 of their 6 blue liners. So they're obviously, they ain't been here before. Who knows how they'll handle it? Is that a factor?
I think it's the biggest factor in the series, Ken, and I don't. It's not always a negative when you haven't played in it. We saw some Flyer rookies last year excel against the Penguins.
That's true.
But they had a group of guys, I think, to lean on. These guys don't. You mentioned their blue line inexperience. I just mentioned their blue line, period. I think it's the team weakness. Nabokov has been a terrible playoff goalie, even though he had a pretty good regular season this year. But my point is, do the Islanders show up thinking we've got nothing to lose? We're playing with house money. Nobody expected us to be here. We haven't been in the playoffs for a while. This team's supposed to win the Stanley Cup. Let's just go throw everything we have out there on the ice and see what happens. Or do they get out there and look like the Penguins did in Sid's first year in the playoffs in 2007, I guess that was, against the Senators, where they look like deers in the headlights. You know, they did deers. Yeah, that's good English. Deer in the headlights.
That's good hockey. That's like Michel Therrien, men's against boys. That's deers in headlights.
That's right. You know, they were stunned. They weren't ready for the intensity of playoff hockey. I expect it to be similar to that, but you never know. I think that's the factor, because I think the hidden factor for the Penguins, they have more playoff experience. A lot of the guys not only have played in the playoffs, have won a cup, but they also have some of these veterans who have showed so much grit and heart down the stretch, like a Morrow, like an Iginla, who desperately are probably realistically thinking they might not be here next year. And even if they are, this team isn't going to be as loaded as it is now, because the salary cap's going down. All these guys, this is going to be their best chance of their life to win the cup, and I think that's a factor.
Brooks Orpik looks like he's going to miss at least the early part of this series based on the Tuesday non-practice. Crosby, we're still not quite sure of. Looks like he is going to play fairly soon. But on the other side, Guy, Tavares has become really a Hart Trophy candidate. It's a tough year for the voting. But John Tavares is not overly sizzling. He's not Ovechkin. But
he's overly productive.
Yeah, first overall pick, and for a reason.
Yeah, I like guys like that. I like guys that just aren't, completely living off their God-gifted ability to fly around the ice. I think he's a good candidate for the Hart Trophy, Ken, just because of the surprise of the team and how he's led them to where they are, a perch that nobody thought that where they would be. But I just don't think one guy like that. I think if the Penguins would lose this series, I don't think it'd be because of John Tavares. I think it'd be because it would be somebody else happens to get hot and scores 4 goals in 7 games, or, Nabokov does have a great series, or, the big factor in the 93 upset, which I think this is sort of similar to that. That team had a 17-game winning streak. This one had a 15-game winning streak. That one won the President's Trophy. This one almost won the President's Trophy. I think it's a little similarity, although the Penguins aren't coming off 2 Stanley Cups here, was Darius Kasparaitis. He pounded Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr into submission in that series. And, of course, Kevin Stevens had the ugly injury in Game 7. Those are the kinds of things you never know where the surprise hero is going to come out. The Islanders are getting paid, too. I don't expect them to just roll over and all right, Penguins beat us 4 straight. Let's go home.
starts Wednesday night, and the Penguins are hoping a 2-month Cup playoff run through June the 28th. Guy Junker, Ken Laird will be here for it all at TribLive.com.